Alright, the manga review for this video will be Chainsaw Man Volume 1 through 5. I had to stop at Volume 5 because I'm waiting for Volumes 6 and 7 and 8 and 9, I guess all of them. I'm definitely into this series now. First off, we'll get into the concept. Chainsaw Man is about Denji. He is a young man, 16, basically kind of homeless. He lives with Pochita, a devil dog creature. They live in this world where supernatural creatures called devils exist. They often hurt people, civilians. So they have public safety agents who are also bonded with devils. However, they protect civilians from devils. So Denji has his pet dog devil, and he works for the Yakuza because his father owed them a lot of money. So he's taken on their debt load, and he basically doesn't have any comforts at all in his life. He eats plain bread. He kills small devils for the Yakuza so they can sell the body parts or whatever, and he basically lives a very destitute life. Doesn't get to have a life of a normal teenager. However, he ends up bonding with the devil dog, and it becomes a part of him and allows him to become a Chainsaw Man, which allows him to basically transform chainsaws out of his arms and head, and he becomes, like, you know, a very powerful force against supernatural enemies. So he gets recruited by the public safety organization. I think they're called Division 4, and he meets Miss Makima. She's like this mysterious, beautiful woman who decides he's smitten with her immediately because she offers him basic comforts like 3 meals a day, a place to live. So the first volume, to be honest, is a little basic. I really didn't like it. I mean, the art style is pretty good. The story's pretty basic. It's pretty fast-paced, action-packed. Not a lot of character development, and then we introduce the organization and everything. We also do get a couple of smaller antagonists like devils to showcase the sort of world building of him fighting them all and everything. And then there's a lot of like exposition in the first volume, like him going to Devil Hunter HQ, meeting some other characters. He ends up meeting Hayakama. He's like Aki. He's like this hard ass with a sword, and he's got his own past and everything. He meets Power. She's a fiend, a devil, a devil possessed her, but she maintains her high IQ, so she's able to, you know, have. She's kind of like a pathological liar, hates humans. She's like a quirky sort of sidekick character, and they end up meeting each other and becoming sort of roommates that don't like each other. And then I believe the first volume ends in a cliffhanger to sort of keep you reading. Volume 2, what we got here, is basically fleshes out her character more, and they become closer friends, really. And then he takes on a new antagonist, another devil, of course. This volume's mostly backstory for Power, and a little bit more for Aki as well. Introduce some more characters. We're getting into the groove of the whole working relationship between all the different characters, so I kind of like that. Denji also gets he's very perverted. He wants, like, since he's been robbed of all of the basic you know, teenage things, he wants to do perverse teenage things like kiss a girl, hug a girl, touch boobs, and all that stuff. So the second volume does introduce the main antagonist of the series, so that sort of introduces a little bit more, because the first volume was pretty fast-paced and I didn't really quite like it, but the world building, it keeps continuing into volume 2, so you get a little bit more of an overarching plot if you continue. And then, of course, it also ends on a cliffhanger as well into volume 3. Aki, basically Denji, and Power, and a couple of newbie recruits, new characters, basically have to go into this hotel that's been has a devil inside and has been taking a lot of people. Introducing new characters, like this one. She has a pact with a ghost devil that allows her to, like, do cool stuff. So this kind of reminded me of Demon Slayer a little bit, because sometimes Demon Slayer will have like an arc where they fight a villain of the week, and this one was pretty good too, because it has some character development, introduces some new characters like the other rookies, and then they have like this really big over-the-top finale, which I really liked. Also, the writer of this manga is a huge horror fan. That's why he wanted to create this. So they introduce, you know, let's see, more character development. There's some, they go for after work drinks. It's more of a character development thing. And then we introduce another cliffhanger, of course. That's kind of starting to piss me off because, you know, what if, like, you're not like me, you don't have multiple volumes of manga to read? What if you just have to do them one at a time, which sucks? So Volume 4 introduces another major threat against Division 4 and the organization they're working for, and we're finally getting into the story. Volume 4 really takes things up a notch with the stakes, so I like that. So this is a very bingeable manga series for sure. They introduce some really interesting villains, some more character development for some of the small characters like Miss Makima, a little bit. You also get this older guy with a big scar on his lip. He's like a badass trainer. And then we get down to Volume 5, which I had to stop because I have to wait for Volume 6 and 7 from the library. But that one finishes off the arc from Volume 4. And then we introduce a few new characters, another love interest for Denji, which is pretty cool. And, you know, some other side characters. It slows things down a little bit. I kind of liked how it doesn't always have to be monster hunting all the time. You can slow down and have some funny character moments. You can have some normal life things, and he meets a new character named Reze and falls for her, and they introduce some more smaller new characters. So the tone of the book isn't too scary. It's more Evil Dead kind of going for it, you know, like whenever Ash, you know, revs up his chainsaw, you get kind of excited to see him fight some monsters. So there isn't a lot of horror. It's more of an action manga. It also had a very similar tone to like a book I read called The Rook by Daniel O'Malley, where it's like an organization that has like the members with powers, and they all wear suits all the time because they're British, and, you know, every agent of the Chika have basically a sort of power to sort of, you know, allow them to be part of the organization. So kind of like Division 1, 2, 3, and 4, they all have powers. So they introduce a lot of quirky new sidekicks that could get maimed at any time, or rookies. So the world building isn't very good for Volume 1, but it definitely sort of hits its stride. And I say Volume 3 is the one where it sort of hits into its stride and it starts to let loose a little bit. So definitely don't just pick up the first volume and read it and not like it. Give the first 3 a chance. I'll definitely continue with this series. I have 8 already, but I have to wait for 6 and 7. And then I should go put a hold on the other ones. So Chainsaw Man is very entertaining manga, very action-packed, not very scary, but fun, enjoyable characters, definitely worth a very bingeable, worthy manga to read. So that's my thoughts on that.